Hello, welcome to my signature assignment. I worked on the community about my church. I found this was fitting because it is the most warm and welcoming part of my life right now. So please enjoy and grab a snack. Thank you. Hello, welcome to my signature assignment. I did the church community, more specifically my church community, just because I felt like it was the most welcoming and warm community I am in right now in my life. Thank you for being here, and don't forget to grab a snack. So, like Hannah I just said, I chose this demographic because there have been times in my life where I have been judged and treated unfairly, and have also seen my friends and family go through similar things. Unfortunately, this is just a part of life. With that being said, I have found peace and warmth in my church. The church I attend is rather large, and I would say about 20% of the population there is disabled. So far, there are no obvious additional factors for my chosen topic, which is another reason why I chose a church, just because they are so welcoming no matter what you look like, what you need, what factors and obstacles you need to overcome in your life. In addition to that, inclusion is a big part of my church. The observations that I had encountered over this project were that I failed to find any information specifically for off ramps and ramps for disabled people with the wheelchairs and stuff. It's hard to see some of the social mobility and economic diversity just with a blind eye. I honestly believe that I should take time to get to know more people in my community within my church to see if they will be willing to share more about themselves and their background. So, seeing disability is very challenging besides the more obvious examples. So that's when I actually went and through the course of this assignment and tried to talk to as many people as possible to see if there were, for example, social um, disabilities that I wasn't seeing just with my eyes and my observations. So, like this slide says, the participation in religious services dropped from 50% of moderately educated high school wides to 37%. So it was mostly cool for me to see how church activity and church attendance has been found by researchers to vary significantly with social class. Individuals of the middle class status levels tend to be more active in church of those for lower status. Although several attempts have been made to test this relationship, no effort has been successful. In the last 4 decades, participation in religious services, dropped from 50% of moderately educated, so high school and perhaps some college, Caucasians to 37%. I thought that was really crazy because church attendance by higher income whites with at least a bachelor's degree barely dipped from 50% to 46%. And in my church specifically, I can definitely see that. So the policies in my church, I chose to do the one we have a little school in my church. So their education policy refers to the plan and underlying principles for educating students. So while the parents are away, it's kind of it's still a school, but more for just younger kids targeted. Um, so I focused on those policies, and that also brought into other schools. So I found a lot of comparisons between the policies I found within my church school and schools just around, if that makes sense. So the goals of educational policy have evolved in the United States as a society and culture have changed and are continually being debated and revised. So that was one of the common factors is that in schools in the United States, at least, the everything is kind of changing and being tweaked all the time. So technology in my church. So I found that through Facebook or Twitter, or my church blog, my members are easily able to communicate directly with the people in our community throughout the day and throughout the week. The technology allows a greater sense of community that doesn't demand proximity. For example, our pastor has a full-time job with Lifeway, so he is able to pastor a church by preaching, meeting with his staff, and leading a small group in his home that he can all physically do. But he can pastor a church throughout the week through social media and digital technology. Technology enables the community easily to have direct communication with him. Excuse me. And he can leave communication with us on a broader, more clear scale. I thought that was really cool because, like, honestly, pastors who aren't on Twitter need to repent. Like, in this day and age, it is so easy to connect with people, and it's because of social media. All right, behavior programs, interventions, and philosophy. So, operant conditioning is a method of learning that occurs through rewards and punishment for behavior. Through operant conditioning, an individual makes an association between a particular behavior and a consequence. So, typically, churches have a resource to conduct health promotion, such as buildings with kitchens and meeting rooms. In addition, churches may provide access to groups that already convene regularly for weekly services, ongoing activities like Sunday school and Bible study. Also, many religious organizations include health as a part of their mission or ministry, and often institute health committees and participate in communities outreach activities such as like soup kitchens. So church really like tries to incorporate a lot of programs, not so much interventions per se would be the word, but just like people wanting to help other people do better. All right. So I cannot speak. Facilitation is a close cousin to mediation. That's where a trained and impartial person works with a group, such as a church, synagogue, or group of its members to accomplish their goals. So going to church is kind of like you sit there and you get to interact with other people, but at the same time, like as a facilitator at the church, they help group activities and its purpose by guiding discussions and group meetings. So my pastor will guide our discussions and guide his talkings and everything. And there are many types of ways that you can go about this in the church. And for me personally, my pastor is always very inclusive when doing like mediation. Thank you so much for sticking through till the end. Here is a page of my references, and it was a pleasure working with all of you. Thank you.